Hey, how's it going? I'm just going to jump right into it. What I want to talk about today is in relation to hobbies and why I think it's important, but also the stress that can come from falling out of hobbies. For example, I used to draw a lot. I used to, be really big into, or not really big into it, but I used to try and be a little passionate about things like video editing. And you can even link things like gaming and stuff into this category. Basically anything that isn't like work or something like that that you're passionate about. Or maybe you don't even have to be passionate about it. Maybe it's just something to fill your time. But for me, it is usually something that I am also passionate alongside the other more important things going on in my life. A big stress in my life has come from falling out of these hobbies that I used to be really passionate about and I used to be really into, and it just used to be something that I did for fun. But over time, as I got older and I moved on from these certain things, I still had that feeling of, man, I should be doing this. Like, why am I not drawing anymore? I used to do it every day, or at least a couple times a week, and now I don't do it at all. I see people, peers even on Twitter, posting amazing artwork all the time, and for years I just haven't even touched a piece of paper or a drawing tablet. And in a sense, I become guilty, like I am not fulfilling this made-up obligation that originally just started as something fun, but now in my mind has become an obligation, something that like I should be doing and I feel bad for not doing. And it becomes really unhealthy, I think is maybe the right word to use. I used drawing as an example, but at least for me personally, there are so many of these that even to this day cause me, like, I want to say a sort of anxiety. One big one that I think you guys can even see maybe firsthand if you've been just following me loosely for a little bit is this YouTube channel. This used to be one of my main passions, but specifically it was a hobby. I've mentioned this before. It led me down so many different roads. Like, for example, just for thumbnails, I even just kind of used my drawing abilities, my very subpar ones at the time. I learned how to use Photoshop. I learned how to use SFM and, learn 3D posing and, certain skills that come with that and, little stuff. But making videos branched off into so many other hobbies. But making videos was, at its core, one of my main hobbies for a long time. A lot of my friends had gaming channels and all stuff, so naturally, just like drawing, when all my friends were doing it, I started doing it as well. I also, had inspiration. Even for these videos that I'm making now, a lot of my inspiration is early Call of Duty videos, where people are just talking over gameplay and kind of giving their real unfiltered advice or, things going on and just kind of stuff you want to talk about. And for a lot of years, at least the past 3 years, I've felt this obligation. And I know it's stupid and something that I really shouldn't feel because it's like a stupid YouTube channel that really doesn't have an effect on anyone's life, really. But I felt this obligation of like, man, like I've had this channel for years and I'm only at X amount of subscribers and I only get this amount of views, and I see people that have been doing it for about shorter than me doing better and being more talented, and it stressed me out let's be real, really no reason. I had no reason. Now, you can make up reasons as to why I felt it, but it's not like I had to. It's not like this was my job and that if I didn't keep doing it, I was going to get outpaced by the people around me and I was going to get demoted or, whatever. It became less so of a passion and a hobby and more so an obligation. And I really didn't like that, which is why I stopped doing it. You can look at how my channel progressed, for example. I started out with gameplay videos, and I, through that, learned how to video edit. And I tried making more serious, maybe game reviews, stuff like that. I kind of fell out of doing YouTube for a while. Then when I tried to get back into it, it was kind of just very generic, talking over game, like kind of like what I'm doing now. But I think now I have a better vision of what I want to do and a better culmination of the ideas in my head to create what I want to create. And now that we're here in this current time period, like I said earlier, I have a much more clear-cut idea of kind of what I want to do. You can see that evolution kind of in relation to what I'm talking about with hobbies. Another one, for example, like I've mentioned, I feel like 3 times already, has been drawing. I was little. By little, I mean like 15, right? All my friends drew. I would be in Discord servers and Skype calls of friends sharing their screens or sending, their latest drawing, and I would be like jealous and be like, I can do that. Like, let me try to do that. Or I'd even be inspired by. There's one friend specifically that had a really big impact on my life. He actually watches all these videos, and I saw him as super talented, and almost in a way, seeing him do that, inspired me at the time to pick up all these new hobbies. Now as I've moved on from those friends and friend groups and that whole basically era of my life, I'm not surrounded by these people. A lot of people around me still draw and do things here and there, but it's not necessarily this like, at the time I had to connect with my friends. I had to learn how to draw and have things to talk about, basically. So it was almost not forced, like I still wanted to do it, but it was almost kind of a force on me, if you know what I'm saying. And over time, as I've moved on from those periods in my life, I have fallen off of it. But what hasn't left is that feeling of, man, I should still be working on this. Coming up with ideas, for example, the main way I did that was sitting in class and just not paying attention and daydreaming. And eventually I'd be like, oh, I could make a video about this game, or I can do this with my friends, or, oh my God, this Mega Man drawing would be super sick, and I could have him with Sonic, and da-da-da. And as I've gone out of school, and as I'm not really, in these similar environments that would foster these ideas, I'm just not really getting ideas anymore. And it was really hard for me. I would sit down, and I found other ways to kind of conjure ideas, but at the time, I would sit down, and I would get so frustrated and create this needless. I would get like angry at myself. I would get like legitimately upset, and it would like ruin my mood because I was like, why can't I conjure these ideas anymore? I feel like I have talent and ways that I could, if I would just get an idea, I could put this on, I can make this a physical thing and show people, and it would be cool. And for so long, I really struggled with that, and it made me just depressed. Like it turned these things that were initially supposed to be fun into these obligations and these anxieties. And that's basically what I'm trying to get at. And I think that this is a pretty common feeling, especially if you are somebody like me who had so many different hobbies. A lot of people I feel like usually have one or two, maybe three, but I feel like I specifically had quite a bit. It's not like a brag or anything. It's just, that's what I did. I wasn't going out super much. I, was inside 90% of the time. A lot of my childhood was spent playing video games in my dirty ass room. So, and talking to people who lived states or countries away from me. So naturally, when you're stuck in silent times, it's just kind of things you pick up, right? Obviously you'd hear of artist burnout and all these things, and that would kind of make me feel better. Like, maybe it's not just me being lazy. Maybe this is a normal thing, right? I still had those thoughts, and I think it's important to maybe voice, if there are other people in this same scenario or feeling, that it's totally okay. Maybe even, let's say, it's not that you've fallen off or you're not still passionate about it, but you're getting anxiety and anger and all these feelings from maybe not progressing in the way that you want to. For example, drawing for me, I would go months just making nothing I was proud of. And I felt like shit the whole time. But then I would maybe take a breather, I would relax a little bit, or maybe let's say I just kept toiling away at it. Eventually I would create something that I was actually proud of. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. At the end of this kind of just turned into a little bit of rambling, which I think all my videos do because I'm really bad at staying on one topic. But I hope I got to a point eventually, and I hope you were able to take something away from this. As always, leave a comment. Thanks for watching. It really does make my day when you guys comment and stuff like that. I'm not just saying that because it is good for the algorithm, so there is that. But I genuinely do love when there's comments. My last video, for example, I almost deleted it like 4 times. I was even talking to a friend, and I was like, "Bro, oh my God!" Like I think it was at 50 views, and it did relatively well compared to all my other videos, and it was gaining views kind of quickly. And I got really self-conscious. I was like, I need to delete it. But I didn't. We stuck with it, and I'm happy. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something I kind of wanted to mention. I was going to do it in the beginning of the video, but I wanted to kind of just jump right into the main point of this video and not waste people's time. But yeah, I'm going to end it here. Thanks you guys so much for watching. Yeah, see you guys.